What's up, y'all?
Hi, this is the Hatchett Chronicles. I'm T. Hatchett,
I'm Frank.
and we are the Hatchett Chronicles.
We are quarantined from this coronavirus. I started to say a bad word, but
Don't say bad words. Get that? I
what's
did
up,
something
man?
funny. You want to talk about the coronavirus?
For what? That's what everybody else is talking about.
And that is exactly why we're not talking about the coronavirus, because we're here to add some love, peace, and joy to your lives, and not, take a break from all that corona.
So, um,
You're
as you
so
guys
handsome.
know, that I'm still working on the Life and Times of Frank Bates project. I'm still working on my beat tape. Still working on this video for beat beginners, beat makers, whatever
Beat
you.
makers from beginners.
Yeah, beat
He
makers.
said it all wrong, and this
No,
is
it's
me.
beginners, beat makers. The guys that
I
are
thought it was
beginners.
beat makers for beginners. Tomato, tomato.
Same thing.
Whatever. Well, you
But anyway,
gotta advertise it right, or they're not gonna know what to look for when it comes out. I'm just
they
saying.
know it's for beginners. Whoever's
Huh? What did you just say?
they know it's for beginners.
Oh, because I didn't. I know, but the name of it, I'm saying.
It's the same thing.
Tomato,
Beginning
tomato.
beat makers for beginners, the same thing.
Guess what? I'm disagreeing with you.
Boy,
you
I want to do this.
guys, y'all see me laugh all the time, right? That's because I'm happy. My husband makes me happy.
It will be.
And he's funny. And believe it or not, I don't laugh like this when he's not around. Because I'm sad when he's not
Oh, can we get on with it
around.
already?
Why is it? Do you have a problem with me expressing my love for you?
This Hatchet Chronicles ain't gonna happen today, y'all. I'm about to shut down.
He's not gonna shut down.
Don't think I won't.
Don't let him threaten you.
Okay.
He's not really
All right.
scary at all. He doesn't
Okay.
scare me.
Okay.
Don't make me call my mother.
I don't care.
I will
I'm
call my
not. Come
mother.
on now. Let's
Okay.
get on.
Okay. So first, let's talk about. I have a question for you. So our kids are grown, um, and we pretty much didn't have uh we pretty much didn't have a problem with blending our families. Our children, they get along. Thank God. That's how I know that God was in the mix, because Frankie and Elijah is just like brothers. They are. Wouldn't nobody know they wasn't blood brothers. They are very close. So what if, like, the kids was younger, like underage, and how this was a question that was asked on Facebook. What if you like, okay, me and you. What if you was into me, but I had bad kids? And I don't want to use the word bad. Maybe that's the wrong terminology, but my kids was unruly. How about that?
I mean, if that's a place that you really want to be, and that's somebody that you want to be with, then y'all would have to sit down and take care of that. I mean, sit down with the children. Everybody sit down and explain the situation to everybody.
Well, that sounds all in a perfect world, but you have
I'm
some
just saying
parents who.
that's the only way that you can put it out there so that everybody will understand that it's gonna be y'all two.
Yeah, but I mean, suppose the kids, you know, kids, especially when you have kids like 9, 10, something like that, and let's say they are okay. Let's say you believe in corporal punishment. Oh, I hate that word. It's not corporal punishment. Black people, they beat their kids. And we got all different terminologies. You're not supposed to say beat, you're supposed to say whip, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? My mother beat my behind. Okay? I beat my kids behind. You know, we all right. We didn't kill them. It wasn't overly. We did what we did. So that the proper terminology and being politically correct, that's going out the window because you're talking to the Hatchett Chronicles and we're always real. So let's say that you believed in beating kids and I didn't. I was on the put them in timeout. But you know that don't work for a lot of people and they were unruly. But you were in love with me and you wanted to be with me, but my kids was just out of control. And for me, I would tell you, okay, I love you, but you're not gonna lay a hand on my kids, and my kids are not gonna be beat. And you're trying to tell me that they're unruly. So how do you make that work?
You have to understand that. Are you being super lenient with things that they're doing to make them unruly?
In your eyes, it would appear that way. In my eyes, it might not.
Okay, so I mean, but it may not seem that way in your eyes, but it very well it could be. So
Exactly. So how do
are
you
you
deal with
open
it?
to suggestions?
Not if you're gonna not maybe I feel
I don't
like you're
have to.
doing too hard,
I don't have to
being too
beat.
hard on my kids.
Then maybe it may not work. I don't know. I mean, so basically, your kids are going to run your life for the rest of your life, and everybody that comes in, whether it's the one for you or not, your kids going to run them away.
Okay, so you're talking sensible, and
It's the truth.
it is, baby. But the reason why, okay, you talk. Okay, let's make this as an example. So you believe that way, but you can't get that through to me because I have my beliefs. So what happens to your feelings for me? Does that mean that okay, well, she's not listening to me, so this is not going to work, or I'm going to do everything? I'm going to still stay with her and just bear it.
I would bear it as much as I could.
Would you have asked me to marry you?
If it came to that, yeah. But if it was a situation where it got to be too much for me, I would sit you down and tell you, listen, I love you with everything I am, but you know the situation with the children, I can't bear it anymore. This is something that I just can't put up with. I just can't. It's just something that I'd rather not deal with. I don't have to deal with it, and I tried for as long as I could, and it's just something that I can't deal with. It's just something that I can't. It just it doesn't sit right with me. I can't put up with it, and I would just go my way.
Okay, here's a question, and this is controversial. Does the order go? And it's a two part because you have to say on a man's how a man see it and how a woman see it. Does the order go for a woman, God, her husband, and then the children, or does it go God, the children, her husband?
Just like it is for a man, so shall it be for a woman.
And what do you think it is for a man?
It's God, his wife, and then his children.
So you don't believe the children should come before the wife?
In certain instances, no. I mean, they're grown,
Let's say they what?
even if they're babies.
And why?
It's because if this is a life that you chose to follow Christ as your Lord and Savior, When it's all said and done, I can't take you with me. I can't take the kids with me, and I need to set an example living by His word.
No, I mean, why is it the wife before the kids?
Because that's what the Bible says.
No, that baby. Do you know how many women believe that the kids should come before
Yeah.
their husband? So you say that
No,
like
no,
that's
I'm not.
obvious.
No, no. I know that.
That is not obvious because
And
I'm
it's hard. It will be hard. It's hard for a mother to feel like that, and in some instances, it's hard for a father to feel like that. But I mean, if this is the life that you've chosen, and this is the spiritual walk that you've chosen. If you're gonna do it right, you have to do it right, regardless of what your feelings are. You have to do what is right by the Creator, because at the end of the day, when it's time for you to sit and meet Him, I can't take you with me. I can't take my kids with me, and I can't take no excuses, because if He said this is what it is, then that's what it is. And if I don't follow that, and I knew that all this time, when He asked that question, I can't sit there and lie in front of Him. So
I
it
agree.
has to be
Now,
what it has to be.
now let me put the disclaimer out here. My husband says that, and I agree with him. But here's the disclaimer. Number one, your husband has to be a man of God in all aspects. Because just because you are a man of the cloth does not mean you're a man of God. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, well, actually, number one covers everything. Because if he is really a man of God, then you're not going to have to worry about anything that comes under that, which means that you don't have to worry about him abusing your children, doing wrong by your children, or anything like that.
Or doing wrong by you.
Yeah, or doing wrong by you. But so here's number two. Number two is you have to be a woman of God. Because if you are not a woman of God, number one, you're not going to know to be with a man of God. So your judgment is going to be off. And number two, you're not going to be able to decipher the difference. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So when my husband says that it's God, the husband and the wife, and the children, I can agree with that because I understand that because we both are people of God. So there's a difference. Hey, fam. Sylvia. Hey, Sylvia.
Sil, what's up, Sil? What's happening, family? Today's topic we touching on is um
Blended family.
blended families.
Because there are so many blended families, but there are so many issues with blended families.
Blended families.
I mean,
I don't, you know, um, I don't see that it can't work. I'm a part of a blended family, so, and we all love each other. So
well, let me say this.
I don't mean
You have to be mature. Love you too. You have to be mature.
the topic is blended families.
You know, like if you with someone who have children, or
If
if
you're with a man that has children and his children may not, uh, uh, his children may not be comfortable with y'all two being together.
or there might be problems, or you might have children and they
Right.
and
As far as you two staying together, would that be a problem with the kids, or how do you deal with
blended families.
blended families?
And this is not for if you're dating. This is for if you're in or going into a serious relationship. and there's children on both sides, or there's children on one side. You know, there are men who don't have any children, and the women have children, or men who have children and the women don't
I
have
had
children.
a kind of a similar situation. I was in a situation that my sons didn't approve of the woman that I was with. They didn't approve.
Well, let me
of that.
say this,
And
getting a little personal. When I was younger, because I was married to someone who had children, and it took maturity. When I was in my early 20s, for me, it was like, well, you know, it's all about me. So I didn't have the maturity. As I got older, because this is my third marriage, for those of you who don't know.
damn.
You know, my second husband had a son, and we actually had him because he had custody of him for about 3 years.
Next time y'all get back on, come up with a topic with you taking care of old white people.
When they act up, you can swing on. Oh my God.
Sis, don't
Alrighty
do that.
then. Alrighty then. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that next week.
I'm sick of. You know what?
We can't deny or agree to that right now.
Listen, the comments
but do what you gotta do.
Hey, you gotta make it right for you. You did.
So when and there was issues there because we raised kids wrong, but
Paul Bell, what's going on, bro?
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's getting bad out there, but y'all just hang on, bro. Stay in the house. Do your, stay your distance. Wash your hands, and
Life as we
sure
know
you
it
pray.
has changed, but we just
pray.
got to be prepared for the new life.
That's all.
So as I was saying, so as the older I got, the more I learned. But at first, I wasn't mature enough to deal with being with someone who had children, even though I had kids. But I think it's a maturity that comes with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely.
And then, like you were saying, sometimes you was with someone that your sons didn't approve of, but maybe they saw something you didn't.
Maybe they could have, but then too, maybe they just didn't want to see me with anyone else but their mother.
You're right. You're right.
You understand? Because when you come up in a situation when you have kids and the two of y'all, the mother and the father, are together and they split and you go your way, your kids are 7, 8 years old, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and they're used to mom and dad being together. When mom and dad aren't together anymore, then they're not used to this new person on mom's side or this new person on dad's side. Especially if they are not in the same household anymore. You know what I mean? And that was something that I had to come to grips with because my sons they never really acted up like that, and I had to figure out why. And they just didn't like who I was with at the time. But eventually, with time, they learned
to deal.
They learned to deal with it, and then it even got better. You know what I mean?
Well, here's a question for you. So,
to a certain extent,
my kids are hardcore. Let me tell you, especially one of them who act like me, who I won't mention, but her name starts with a T.
Paul, what you cooking?
And so, my question is that they are not very. If for those who know my history will understand, but my kids are not very trusting of men. My kids, my sister's kids, they grew up where the woman was the main household. So the boys are very protective of the mother and the aunts, and the girls are very protective of the mothers and the aunt. So they automatically come after, whether it be me or my sister or whatever. I'm sideways. Now, when me and you got together, my husband has a bond with my children that's kind of amazing to me because my kids are not that type. My kids are just like, yeah, what you want, man? They might seem nice, but they just be looking for any old excuse to pounce on it, especially my son Elijah and that other one. They be just looking for them to look wrong and say, okay, it's time to beat them up and kick them out because they don't think they're going to last long anyway. And they have never defended, they have never talked to, they're not really all chummy chum with the men that's been in my life because they're not like that. So when you and I got together, you have a relationship with the kids that's amazing to me. My question to you is, number one, was that important to you?
Of course.
Number two, how did you manage that and why?
It was very important to me because my love for you, because of how much I love you, and those are your children. At the end of the day, I don't mean squat when it comes to them and me. You understand what I'm saying? And I know that in a mother's eyes, that if it's either the kids or the man gotta go. It's my kids because these are children that these babies grew inside of you. You understand? So the connection is it's inevitable that a mother will look at a man and say, nah, it's not going down because my kids ain't happy. I get it. That's the first thing. The second thing was I wanted to talk to them because they're grown. I wanted to talk to them by myself without you because of the simple fact that I wanted to let them know what my agenda was. I'm not here to beat your mom. I'm not here to take anything from her. I'm here to add to her life if I can. I'm here to love her every day for the rest of my life. That's what I'm here to do. I'm not here to be disruptive, destructive, and I'm not here to give her gray hair right now. Maybe later on down the line. But no, but I'm just saying, and this is what I told Elijah when I talked to him. Because me and Elijah went off and had our own talk by ourselves.
Yeah, my son, who is not they don't
call nobody.
Yeah.
But they surprised me by calling me Pop.
Yeah, he's very, very protective. Let me tell you something. When a few years ago, when I was living in Georgia and I was working for this performance
my brother's
studio,
outside the door tripping, y'all.
I had on this skirt and he called me 3 o'clock in the morning to take the picture down from Facebook that I put on Facebook because his friends was talking about I had pretty legs, and my son was very offended by that. As a matter of fact, I think my son stopped talking to one of his friends because his friends had said, your mother looked good. That's your mother, she looked good. And I think he stopped talking to that guy for a couple of years. That's how overly protective he is. Okay. So, and at this point, he calls my husband more than he calls me. And I'm amazed that their relationship is really, really, they have their own relationship, and I'm proud of that. But to achieve that is something amazing. For those who know my son and know me, that's something short of amazing because my children are not very friendly. Put it that way when it comes to outside.
And my daughter too.
Yeah, she is. She's very. They both call him Pops.
She told me to my face, Elijah, he might have, gave in easy and early, but you're gonna have a problem with me. And I was like, bring it on.
And my baby
I could
boy,
take whatever you
my
want.
baby boy, who we have some because of his father and I relationship, there's some gaps there. But my baby boy was texting him, and I mean, he's just been amazing.
You know what it is? Because I don't try and make it more than it is. I can't make it more than it is because I have to be who I am. And I just let the God inside of me exude. I let the God inside of me come out when I speak to them, when I talk to them, when I joke with them, when I have, you know, if it's a funny conversation, if it's an in depth conversation, I just let God use me as a vessel so he could speak to them through me. You
I
know what I'm
think the
saying?
other thing is that we had the best of intentions, and because you came with the best of intentions, I think that also helped. There wasn't no, you know.
Elijah tells me all the time, Pops, you don't know how happy I am that Mom met you. You don't know what you've done for my life. You don't know what you've done for my sister's life.
And you
And
know,
I don't take that as a grain of salt. You understand what I'm saying? That's really really important to me. That's something I hold on to. That's something I think about. That's something I weigh day in and day out because if I made that kind of impact in just being who I am, I know God has given me the tools to do what's right.
and you know, for me, I guess when I think about it now, I guess could have been or should have been, but because I know that our marriage was made by God, then it's not really coulda, shoulda, woulda. But for me, it was real easy with his children because I don't know. I just with all of his family members, I never had the nervousness or anything because it wasn't like I never had to try. It wasn't like I was trying to capture their attention. It was just like we clicked. The very first person that I met in his family was his sister, and we clicked. It was not no. Well, to be honest with you, I clicked with her daughter, her baby girl first because that was I don't know.
That was amazing.
Me and her just eyed each other. She woke up. She was taking a nap. She was about what 1 or 2. She was taking a nap when I went
She
to
was
his.
3.
No, she wasn't that old.
Yes, she was. No, she
No,
was
she
2.
wasn't. She was about 2.
Yeah, she was 2 years old.
And
let me tell y'all, not to cut her off, but my niece was, she wasn't used to anybody. She was used to me, her sister, her mom, and her dad. Couple of family members, maybe. But she didn't get down with nobody. Like if somebody came into, even her father's cousins that he's mad close with, he'd be with them every day, all the time. They come in the crib, she would lay down in the playpen and put the cover over her head because she didn't want to be bothered with them. If they reached in there to pick her up, she would cry like they was trying to break her arm or something. She would go crazy. She didn't get down with nobody. My other sister, Fequa, when Fequa used to come, she used to act like that. Well, Rai was different. She rocked with Rai, but she didn't get down with nobody. And that day when we was on the porch and you went inside to use the bathroom, and then I came inside and you were sitting there holding her, rocking back and forth, and she was asleep. I was like, what in the world is going on here?
And that's what I'm saying. I didn't even try. She woke up. I went to the bathroom and she woke up when I was coming out of the bathroom, and we looked at each other And it was just like we had an understanding. And with most of his family, it was just like they already knew me. And it felt like they already knew me. And I already knew them because we just clicked. I clicked with her. I clicked with his sister. When I met his son Frankie, or our son Frankie now, it was just like we were talking, and it wasn't like I was trying to get to on his good side. It's just like we clicked. Everything just came so easy. And that's not the norm. I realize that. I do recognize that, and I thank God for that. But most of my relationship with his family members, it just came easy. It was just like I was introduced, and then that was it.
She got her own relationship with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Frankie and I, we have the chip and Utz and dip and chip. That's our relationship. Nobody. I don't even share with him. Just Frankie, because that's my baby. I just have even Dee Dee, and Dee Dee is very
standoffish.
Yeah, he's standoffish, and he's quiet and laid back. Well, at least that's what he appeared to be. I don't know the real him, but anyway, that's his first. When you first meet him, you might think, oh, he's so sweet and quiet. Yeah, okay, but anyway, even Dee Dee and I connected on a quiet level. Um, Sean, his his brothers, and you know, everybody talk about my baby rah rah, but and y'all should beware, but we got our own thing going on. We here, me and rah rah. We on level 4. Y'all don't know nothing about that. We won't even talk about that right now.
I get along with your family. Like
yeah,
your
and
sisters.
he gets along with my family, and so it just everything flowed with us, and I think that was because we are mature now. It definitely was because of God, because what God put together.
Let no man put us on.
Exactly. So everything's going to flow if it's right in God. Um, his mom, there was he had a problem. I understood what the situation was. And once me and his mom talked, everything was all good. That's my mom. I'm her favorite. For all of y'all that don't know, I'm her favorite. So it just flowed with us. But unfortunately,
falling off the camera over here.
Why are you falling off?
Turn it. Yeah, there you
go. Unfortunately, everybody is not like that. Everybody don't have.
No, there are mixed families that they feud and don't get along and stuff like that, but it's easy to speak from a perspective when everything is easy.
That's true. And I think that was my point. Everything was easy with us.
But at the same time, if you go in with good intentions and you explaining what your intentions are, if you have that conversation, then
or if you don't
my
try.
thing is if they don't. Yeah, true. That too.
Sometimes you don't need to do anything. Because what's that saying we always say? What is known don't have to be proven.
What's understood don't need to be explained.
Exactly. And so if you don't have no ulterior motives, or you ain't trying to be something you ain't, or, put on airs, it's easy to, mesh with people, for lack of better words.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure it is.
And so I think that's what it is. I think a lot of people go into it trying to impress, trying to put on airs, trying to prove that they belong with that person. But for real, if you two belong together and y'all love each other, that ain't nobody's business but y'all. So you ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. As long as the other person knows how you feel and you know how they feel.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
If it's meant to be, it'll be.
Exactly.
Point blank period.
So I think that's the biggest thing. I think people go into blended families trying to make the family members like them, or trying to prove to the family members that they're the best one. Best interest. They're the one for that person and only them.
If you go in acting, you come out losing the part.
If you go in acting,
You
they
understand what I'm
gonna know
saying?
from the start,
That's why
especially
I'm
certain
saying if you.
family members.
That's why I said if you go in acting, you come out losing the part. You don't get the part.
That's true.
You go
And
in
if
acting,
you
you
got
lose the part.
in-laws like I got, they gonna call you out from the
Man,
get go. They gonna let you know. Get out of here with your phoniness. I ain't got time.
yeah, my sister's relentless.
And see, you know what? My sisters ain't no better because they gonna talk about you and laugh at you too.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna sit back and laugh at you.
So I think,
So I think that it takes maturity. Definitely takes God. It takes love. Because if you really love your partner, y'all will work it out. Especially if it's blessed by God. And that it's important because, like last week we were talking about cheating and being if you're in love, can you cheat? And the issue comes up of knowing the difference, first of all, between love and in love.
and being in love.
Yeah, because there is the difference. And being on one accord. You definitely got to be on one. And communication. Communication, you know,
That's even in a mix. That's even in a blended family.
yeah, communication.
Communication
And
is
communication
important.
can be hard, and I'm saying this now because I always say, oh, you got to have communication. And it seems so easy. But I'm realizing now that communication can be hard because just like love, in love, and all other things, there are different parts. There's different parts to communication. You know, if you get mad, you both are saying stuff but not really listening, maybe.
You know what it is? I think that with communication, you can't be afraid to speak on how you feel.
Yeah, but you also.
Listen, because the reason why I say that is because you sometimes you may not want to say something because of how you think someone else will perceive it and if their feelings will be hurt or not, right?
Hmm.
With that being said, there's always a way to introduce the conversation. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, so.
Listen, I don't mean any harm. My intentions are not brutal. But with this situation, this is how I feel. And hopefully, somewhere in this conversation, you will be able to respect my feelings as I respect yours.
Okay,
And
so
then lay it on the table.
I have a question for you. What if you're in a relationship where somebody is a shutdown and somebody is a talker? Somebody who wants to express, but somebody who shuts down. So how do you do that? Because the talker is going to be like, you don't talk to me, come on, and push, push. And the shut down person is going to shut down.
The person that's a talker, they have to realize that, okay, this person shuts down, but I have to let them be until they're ready to talk because I'm a person I shut down.
What if they never talk?
They'll
You
talk
shut down, but you
eventually.
don't. You will
Eventually,
say, no. There are people out here who they just let it go, and that's how they think they solving stuff. They just let it go. I don't want to talk about it. I shut down because I shut down a couple of times. When I get to a place, the reason why I shut down is because I don't want to say anything out of anger. And sometimes I have to check myself. That's another thing about communication. Sometimes you have to check yourself. And so that's hard to do, especially if you think you're right. So sometimes I'd be like, okay, I don't want to talk about it right now because I need time to check myself and say, am I really right in what I'm feeling? I need time to pray on it and talk to God about it and ask God if there's something in me that I said wrong or did wrong, and am I wrong for feeling the way I feel? So I have times, I don't shut down all the time, but I do have times when I feel like it's getting the best of me. I'll say, I don't want to talk about it no more. I'm done. And I'll shut down and not talk because I'm also not a repeater. If I say something, I don't like to keep saying stuff over and over. When my kids were small, I only talked to my kids once or maybe twice if I was in a good mood. I do not talk a lot. It's like
You what?
I don't talk to my kids constantly.
No, not them, but me.
Well, you're
Lord.
different. I mean, we talk. I mean, that's different. I'm talking about like if we was having a disagreement and I was upset, it's like, and to the point where it was getting hot and heavy. It's like I sit down. It's like, okay, I don't want to talk about it no more. And I'll come back, but not at the time. If it gets too hot and heavy, I'm not like with my kids. It was like when they made me mad. If I told them something once or maybe twice, the third time they automatically know their butt was getting beat. I wouldn't even talk about it. It was just pat 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 because I told you last week. So it wasn't.
I get it.
It
I
wasn't.
get it.
But what if you have that type of person that shut down all the time, that don't discuss and don't communicate, and then you are a person who maybe over communicate, like there are people who be like,
Yeah,
well, I
I
don't
get
want
it.
to talk about it now, and they don't even give you that space to.
See, that's nagging. I'm like, yo, please just leave me alone.
Well, now that's a good thing. You said that's nagging.
No,
But
it's not.
but if you are shut down, a person that shuts
Of course, it
down,
would seem like they're nagging.
yeah.
Right. I don't. That is a good question. I can't answer that. I can't answer that. I usually I can I have an answer for something, but that's hard. That's hard.
Well, I think
That's
that
hard because if you are dealing with somebody that is a total shutdown, then how did y'all even communicate to get together in the first place?
sex.
No good.
You know what? And
No good.
I
That's
just
no
said
good.
that to my husband. But you know, and you
People like
know who
that.
you are out there. That's what your relationship is built on. You shut down and you have sex. But then if you get serious and you get married, you wonder why it's not working. It's not working because y'all never had communication. Your relationship was built off sex. You don't even have to get married. You could be in a long-standing relationship and then all of a sudden it's not working. And you're talking about the honeymoon is over because it was never there in the beginning. Because you use that as a way to avoid the communication that you really needed.
I agree.
But what I think, the person that is the shut down person, it's compromise. It's about compromise. That person needs to come out of his comfortability or come out their comfortability. The person who talks too much needs to step back. And like I said, I check myself
Okay, so
sometimes.
what if they don't? What if they don't think that they need to step back? What if they feel like they're doing all they can, even though it seems overbearing to a person that shuts down? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
That's tough. It's a tough.
It is
That's
tough.
a tough situation.
But that's
But
where
my
the
thing is
communication, that's where
in the
you need
beginning.
to. Exactly.
That's my thing was in the beginning that needed to be addressed. You know, look, that hair. Did you buy it or did you grow it? Do your
This
feet
kind of
stink?
person.
You understand? Look, I know you fat. Are there any other roles that you want to share with me? I mean, look, look, communication is key to a relationship. If you don't have communication, you don't have communication, you don't have trust, and you don't have morals, you have nothing.
And I will say that I was never the one to step back and think and check myself. I haven't always been like that. Let me just be real with that. Because I will fly off the handle in a minute, the old me. In a minute. I was very hyper. I would fly off and curse you out and talk about your mother, sister, brother, cousin in a minute. That was me before. Now I'm different.
That's not even
And
forgive makeup.
my prayer is different now. Because before, after I did fly off the handle, and this is being real with y'all, I was ordained minister for many years. And even in that time, it was like my prayer was, oh Lord, can you fix him? Can you do this? Can you do that?
What about fixing yourself?
But yeah, but here's the thing. Not only was I praying to God to fix something that could have been my fault, but I didn't even ask God for the person that I was asking him to fix. But I was coming to him after I decided to get with that person. Did y'all hear me? I want y'all to clearly hear that. I went to God when that person wasn't doing as I thought he should be doing, asking God to fix him. But I didn't ask God if he should be in my life in the beginning. So there was a whole lot of reasons why my whole outlook was all wrong. So when I changed that, everything else fell in place. Now I can. Not just with my husband though. See, that's the good thing about God. See, when he changes you, when he comes into your life, when he's a part of your life, it don't just be that one thing that you might have asked for or that he gave you as a gift. When he gives you a box as a gift, in that box
When
is
you
a lot
open
of
it,
little
it's
gifts.
a perspective.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of little gifts. That's why I always say my husband is my God gift. But with him came sons, came a mother, came sisters, brothers, cousins, came a whole lot of other gifts with him.
Respect.
He wasn't just
honor,
it wasn't just
truth,
that him. So
loyalty,
exactly all that.
communication, love,
Exactly all that.
being mindful,
So
being
you learn that.
appreciative.
So now I'm at the point where even if I'm having a disagreement with somebody else, I might shut down with that person and say, you know what, I don't want to talk about them. But when I shut down, it's like, okay, God, help me, help my soul. I need to know what's going on. Is it me? Did I say something? Did I do something? Why do I feel this way? It's not about that person. It's about me.
Help me to perceive.
Yeah, help me
to perceive it right.
To check me.
Right.
So that's where I am with, and that's what communication is all about. And if it's right, you will have that. That person that shuts down will shut down maybe for a minute or so, but they'll come back to it. That person who's constantly nagging cat, they'll step back if they're in the right spiritual
If they're in the right state of mind.
State of mind.
Right,
Okay,
state of
spiritual
mind.
state of mind.
If they're in the right spiritual state, period. Not just a state of mind, but the spirit is in the heart too.
Because there is all sorts of parts of communication. There's times when I ask my husband, and we have a good communication thing going on. But there's times when I question whether, I'll say to my husband, maybe, I want to say something to you. I have something to talk to you about, but I don't know if I should because I put so much on you. And then he'll say to me, if something's on your mind, say it. There's also a thin line that you don't know this, baby, but I'll tell you this. So the other day, I went to the store and I spent like $10, a couple dollars over the amount that I told you I was going to spend. And I had said to my sister, I told you about it afterwards. I said to my sister, I said, you know what? Because we got the same app of our cards in the banks that our card is with. And I said to her, I said, you know what? He got the app and he'll see how much I spend. I'm going to have to take that app off his phone because now he's see what's going on with me. And I'll be honest, I did think about it for a minute to say, I need to take that app off his phone so he won't see what I'm doing.
Jazzy B, what's up?
But then I came back and I said, I'm not taking that apple because I never lied to my husband and I'm not going to start now. And so to me, I perceived that when I thought about it as a lie because
it was.
Well, yeah, there's people out here that might not thought it would have been a lie. They might have thought, well, you could do that because you ain't got to tell them everything. Yes, I do. Why? Because
we started out like
this is my partner. Yeah, and we started out. There's nothing that he doesn't know about me. I mean, I tried to April fool him, and I was so mad because he didn't even believe my little April fools that I took 24 hours to try to think of that April. I mean, I worked hard on that, trying to figure out something that I could April Fool's that would, and he just didn't even, from the start, I was just like, really? And I was pissed off about that because I was like, wait a minute, I spent time thinking about this, and he didn't fall for it. Then I was trying to get him to tell me why he didn't fall for it, and he kept saying, you don't know me, and it was pissing me off more because it was like I need something to try to play April Fools with you, and you know me too well, and that don't work for me.
I ain't giving no fuel for the fire.
So, and so when you start off in a relationship like that, anything that you do that's deceptive is a lie, basically. And so I couldn't see.
My thing is if you start out that way and you end up veering off doing something different, if you feel some type of way about it, at least bring it to that person and say it. You understand what I'm saying?
And let me say this to the women. That's how we start off lying to our husbands. And that's how we start off
messing
up or losing what we have with our husbands. The trust and because that's a little thing. Okay, so what? Yeah, I overspent, and yeah, he might be upset at what I spent. I'm gonna have to take that because I did it. I'm gonna have to eat that. But it's not enough to say, it's not detrimental to say like he's
I want a divorce.
Yeah, going to divorce me or anything. He's gonna be upset at me for a moment. He'll get over it. But my thing is
just
that
make up the $10 or make up the $20 or
but my thing is that if you start off like that, and if you make a mountain out of a molehill, if you start off taking the little things and making it big things, or in your head pitching it, it's going, oh, I got to hide this from him because I don't want to hear his mouth, then you're going to...
When something big happens, it's a disaster.
Exactly. Because you're taking the trust yourself. Then you worry about him. Well, how come he don't trust me? What happened to our trust? You took it. You made him. And trust me, I know, because in my first marriage, me and one of my sisters, we used to go to the mall and buy pocketbooks. And I would come home and tell my ex-husband, that she bought my pocketbook, and she would tell her husband that I bought hers. And it was, at the time, little things. But with me and my husband, it ended up big things that we stopped. It was no trust, no communication. We had nothing. And I'm partly to blame for that because of little things like that. You have to look at the little things. You have to look at what you're starting off with, because what you start off with is what you're going to end up with.
You know what's crazy?
What?
We'll sit and we'll say, he'll say, all right, baby, I'm going to the store. I'm going to go get food. I'm going to go food shopping. We'll put a list together, and you'll get everything on the list. And then it might be one or two different items that we didn't discuss that will end up in the bag. I don't trip about it, because that really ain't nothing to trip about. But you tell on yourself because you be having this guilty look on your face.
I'm not good at lying. I've never been good at lying.
Like the other day. Now, my wife, she's slick. Right? She shop online a lot. Yeah, she know exactly what I'm about to get her. So the other day, I'm sitting in here. I was watching TV, sitting on the bed. So my wife went in. She went in the living room. I guess the mailman came, or FedEx or whatever, and bought her package. So now, mind you, I'm used to hearing slippers on the floor. I'm hearing her talking, but I'm hearing shoes on the floor, the click clack of shoes coming down the hall. So I'm like, who the heck is, what the? She bends the corner with these with these brand new shoes on. So I looked at her, and as soon as I looked at her, she said, "No, baby, I'm just saying." automatically. She hit me with a bag of excuses and all of that, right? And I was like, I'm not mad. They nice. She thought I was gonna go into the clouds and go crazy. But you know the thing is this. My job is to make sure my wife is happy, no matter what. Sometimes I gotta compromise, like just like right now. I could be in the studio doing something else, but I'm here enjoying y'all and y'all enjoying us. I don't like being on no camera, but I compromise with my wife because this is something that makes her happy. So I have to do this. You know, as much as I don't like it, I gotta gear myself up for it because it's a part of our lives together, and it's a part of me being the husband I'm supposed to be and compromising and making her happy. So with that being said, she thought I was going to trip over those shoes, but I didn't. I didn't. And when I said to her, "Oh, those look nice," if y'all could have seen her face brighten up even more, she was really. Then she started spinning around. Now she wanted like she on Broadway and want to show off the shoes and all of that. I'm like, yo, I just said to myself, this woman's crazy, man. She thought I was gonna wild out, but she crazy.
So speaking of, let me tell y'all my April Fools because I'm gonna need help because I need an April Fool's trick to play on my husband because he's just not falling for anything.
It's not gonna work.
So look, I thought of a good one, y'all. Cause I know my husband know me, and I believe me, I thought about this all night. So I thought this one was gonna work because okay, so me and my husband, we have an open communication in our relationship. So I know his past females, and he knows my past males, and some of the males that I used to deal with, I'm still friends with. Well, not a lot, but two, three of them are we're like close, like friends. He has people that he used to deal with that he's very close to. Okay, so we both know that we talk to these people on the phone. They know my husband, my friends, and his friends know me. So ain't no thing there. But
Right.
so I thought that I would play off of that because of the fact that I didn't have anything else. I was gonna say I'm pregnant, but my husband knows me, and honey, I would like to maybe adopt a child, but ain't nothing coming up out of here no more. I ain't carrying no child no 9 months. No, that's a whole nother story. But no, he know that wouldn't be because he would probably have to put me in the loony house. But anyway, so then I said, okay, maybe I would say that I was in love with one of his brothers, but he know that wouldn't work either. So I really thought about this and planned this out. So here was my April Fool's trip that went all wrong. So I told him that I had to go to one of my friends. And I didn't mention the name because maybe I should have mentioned the name. Maybe that might have worked. I don't know. But anyway, I said I had to go to one of my friends and and get some money. And I said, and the only way they would give me money if I send them a pet. Now the first thing he did was look at me and was like, "What kind of pet?" Which threw me off because I was trying to keep a straight face. And let me tell you, I don't know I was never good at lying. Okay, I always got busted, and I'm just not the liar type. That's why I had to change. That's why my thinking is a little different because I'm not the type. I just don't do well when it comes to lying. So that's why I said pick instead of a nasty pic or anything like that. I just cut it short and said I had to send a pic. So when he said what kind of pic, it kind of threw me off because now I got to get my face right to say, no a nasty pic, no clothes. So I was like, well, it, a picture, with me, a sexy pic, and he just looked at me and gave me a face. He was just like, And so I just started laughing because I couldn't, and so my thing is, why wouldn't you believe that? I have friends that I talk to. I mean, I even have friends that from time to time I might have to borrow some money from. He knows that because I tell him everything. So wouldn't that when you I thought it was a good trick. I really did. I thought it was a good April Fool. He didn't fall for it, guys, and that really threw me off. So I need an April Fool's trick from my husband that he gonna fall for because he really made me mad with
So
that.
share, like, and share,
Yeah,
and in the comment section on this particular Hatchet Chronicles, leave it on my page and give her a good April Fool's trick and
please.
see if I'll fall for it.
Yeah, I need
But
to get
here's the
my
thing:
husband.
if you know your spouse as good as you're supposed to know them, it's not that easy for them to pull the wool over your eyes. Because when she said I had to send him a sexy pic in order to get the money, I started to bust her head open and say, "You better send that pic, get that bread. What you waiting on? You better, did you send it off? How much he talking?" She would have lost her mind.
Because first of all, I think the problem is my husband know that I don't do that. That I would have got offended. See, he
Facts.
wouldn't have had to get offended because I would have got because
That's a fact.
I'm the type of person I'd rather sleep in the gutter before you use me. That's just not me.
That's a
So
fact.
that maybe I should have tried something else. So if y'all have any suggestions, I didn't think about that at the time. I'm a little slow. I thought that was the best out of the rest of them. But if y'all have any suggestions, please help me because I know I could get him. I need some help.
Suggestions.
Yeah, I need some suggestions because I just need the right thing to get him
It's
with.
not happening, fam.
Something that's believable.
It's not happening, fam. So
And it got to keep in mind that it's hard for me to lie, so it has to be something that I can get out.
that you can make believable.
Yeah, that I can make believable before my face shows.
Because all I got to do is just look at her real hard, and she'll just say, "Well, you know what? It was just an April Fool's thing anyway." It was just before she even get through it, because she knows we have a no nonsense relationship when it comes to certain things, and that she knows that really you gonna send somebody a picture really for some money, really, really. And she was like, "Well, why isn't that believable?" And I said, "You don't know me by now. You really think that I'm gonna believe that?
I should have
Really?"
called moms. That's what I should have did. Mom probably could have came up with something for me. That's what I should have did. I should have called moms.
You could have. Okay. It's
Okay, our hour is up. This was pleasurable. We hope if we don't do anything else, we kind of trying to light people heart from this whole pandemic that we're in, and everybody, some people are in panic, some people, I pray for the healthcare workers, the firemen, the policemen, the people that have
everybody.
to be out there in it. We really are praying for you, and we thank you for your service. We know it's tough times, but let me tell you something, guys. Yes, our world as we know it is changing. But what my suggestion is one, we're not going to survive without God in our lives. But also with God and with action. I truly believe this was one of the ways of God telling us that we need to slow down and give him more attention. Because now we're in a house, there's no music, entertainment, there's no job. You ain't got nothing to distract you from finding a relationship with him, getting a relationship with him. That's number one.
And you
And
have to understand. I don't mean to cut you off, but you have to understand this is his way of giving you a out. It's his way of giving you the understanding of what's to come.
Yeah,
Because
and that's
these
another thing.
are the last days.
Get prepared for what is to come.
Living.
Stop depending on the powers that be, because we can do it for ourselves. Now's the time to learn how to clean water. Learn how to, I just saw a video on Facebook the other day of how to grow avocado plant. And these are things you can do in your house, not outside. You can get the pot and the dirt and grow an avocado plant. What did I think? A cucumber. Learn how to grow food, because yes, we are coming in that time where we're going to have to be self-sufficient, where even with the phones and the internet, all that might shut down. Then what? Learn how to talk to your loved ones instead of texting.
I'm bad for that too. I'm gonna say that. I'm guilty of that, and that's whack of me.
But I make my husband talk to me.
I have no other choice.
I'm right in his face. I'm like, I make my husband talk to me. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm just saying.
So, we didn't really plan on going to this pandemic thing.
Yeah, but we just do this to give you some.
I hope we gave you a different light, a different side of something to think about, a different side of something to look at. We appreciate y'all taking out your time.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
Look out for his stuff coming up.
Yeah, I got 3 projects I'm working on.
I got my book, my chapter for my sister's book.
I'll be doing a blast real soon on Facebook Blast and letting you know how close I am to one of the projects, because I'm 90. I say about 93.5% finished. So
my niece and my son has a song out.
Yeah, they got a song out that is called
Kneel Down, Bend Down.
Something Day. Forgive me, y'all. I apologize to Leah, Elijah. I apologize.
I know, me too. Y'all should have been on the online with us, then y'all could have said the name.
Promote your song yourself too.
Yeah.
But it's on all the streaming sites. Wherever you can stream music, you can go get this song.
It's under our label, UTR Untapped Talent Recording Label.
And I'm so upset with myself that I can't remember the name right now.
Well, I apologize, but my brain has never been that good, and that's the honest truth. I can't remember what happened 5 minutes ago.
Stay Down.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Stay Down. You're right.
The name of the song is Stay Down.
By Young for Life, which is Eli, my son Elijah, and Miss Capri, which is my niece Talia.
And they did a heck of a job. The joint is dope. It's definitely dope.
And my sister Valerie McAllister, look out for her and all the projects she's doing. She's on Facebook all the time, dealing with many issues. She's an activist, and then she has her web series. I don't know. I haven't talked to her about whether the web series is at a standstill or what because of the coronavirus, but I will ask her. But I'm still promoting it. I know they were finished filming it. I don't know if
it's done yet.
Yeah, if it's actually. And my niece is got a production company. She does the films, and she's been doing 48-hour films from her home. That's how good she is. Mm-hmm. So look out for that. Her name is Kia Reed.
That's about it.
That's about it.
So thank you guys for joining in. Share, like, and share,
like, share. Oh, where are my notes? Okay.
And
like, share. Please like and share our videos, because we are trying to pass the positive message, and we're trying to gain a huge following so we can switch over to YouTube. So we appreciate it. Like, share.
And we appreciate you guys. And this is the Hatchett Chronicles.
I'm T. Hatchett.
And I'm GL.
And we're out. Peace.
See y'all later.
See you next Sunday.